How's it going, everybody? It's Electron Man. Hope everybody's having a good day. Well, I got a neat one today. I'm really not even positive of what this is. I have a pretty good idea. I can't find any manufacturer name on it. Obviously, it's some type of amplifier. I can pretty much deduce that by turning it around and seeing it's got a radio and antenna and RNA, as I'm assuming it must be what that is. It's got some type of tuning knob on here on the back of it, and the only writing, this label here is pretty much yellowed out. The only thing I can read, it looks like somebody put with a pen 120 volt AC 6 amp. I don't know if that means for the fuse or what. And 6053, that's all I can read on that. I don't know if that eagle is actually part of it, or somebody just wanted to be cool and bolt that under. I mean, it looks like it's got a screw just holding it to the center of it, but anyway, as you could tell, it's kind of cool looking. I mean, maybe it went to a Golden Eagle set, and this is the amplifier or a pre-driver. I'm guessing a pre-driver. We'll get it open. I can kind of look through the grate there and tell it's got two smaller tubes in it. So, I mean, obviously this is no large amp. I mean, I'm guessing something probably in the 20 to 50 watt range. I don't know yet. I will say this is an old tube amp. And folks, take these with caution. I would say if you don't have a variac, don't even start on it. Which a variac is that right there, which is basically the ability for me to turn the voltage up from basically 0 to 120, so I can put 30 or so volts in it and see if the magic smoke comes out of it, and see if I have any shorts or anything like that, and watch the amps at the same time and see if it's behaving as it should. But anyway, go with these at caution. I guess 25-30 years ago, working on I think it was an old Skipper 300, I learned my lesson about these amps. In fact, I still got the scar. I don't know if you can see that on my thumb or not, but right there, right above the thumbnail right there, that scar is from me. I'd actually been rebuilding a Skipper 300, and I actually had it up and running, and it was kind of close to the end of the bench, and I just reached up on the outsides of the case to pick it up and move it, a couple inches back further away from the ledge of the desk, and the old cathode on the high voltage decided that I was a good ground, and it jumped from the tube right into my thumb, and I was standing on a moist concrete shop, and well, needless to say, it shocked the holy hell out of me. And fortunately at the time I had somebody standing there, and they actually had to it latched me on, and fortunately there was somebody there that actually kicked the amp out of my hands. But anyway, I know it's kind of a horror story, but it's always in my mind anytime I'm touching these, because you do that one time, you learn a lesson. It's lucky it did send me to the hospital. Not on a stretcher, but I was feeling really weak and didn't feel right after it happened. And after about an hour, I got concerned and went and got checked out, and everything checked out okay. But yeah, it put the fear into me, and so I'm very, very, very careful. And I would suggest anybody dealing with any of this tube equipment, even if it's an old antique radio, you're talking high voltage, 600 volts at least in one of these, and old TVs, any of that stuff. Be very, very, very cautious. They can get you when you don't even. Like I said, I thought I was totally safe, and here I am just picking the outside of the case up, and it jumped. But a lot of these are case ground, so you have to be really careful. If you look at the plugs, there's not 3 prongs on it, there's 2, and that tells you a lot right there. But anyway, let's go ahead, and I'm going to open this up and do a visual inspection and see what we got. I'm guessing it's, I don't know that it's ever been serviced. It's probably got a bunch of old wax capacitors. I don't know how much time or effort I want to put into this. I might just throw it on the old eBay and sell it as is, but thought I would kind of, tinker with it a little bit and see if it's worth maybe get back up and running. Okay, I got the cover off of it now, and you can kind of get an idea what it looks like on the inside. Man, pretty simple, right? Got you a big old transformer here and 2 tubes. And then there's actually no other components on the top side of that cover, which is really interesting. It looks like it's got one tuning knob, which has got some type of glue, or I don't know, that stuff's hard. It's to keep you from turning it. They don't want you, probably the BIOS adjustment, but anyway. Hey, they don't want us to touch it. I'm not going to touch it. And then on the back side here, Let's go ahead and see if we can get a good view. Hopefully, I'm trying to hold this so I know it's not going to be, but I don't want to put the weight on the tubes. Be careful about that. But basically, there's the inside of it. It does have electrolytic. I don't see any wax capacitors in it. That's a good thing. My guess, I would have thought for sure maybe this is, you know, after wax. Maybe this is like 70s. So anyway, we're gonna do a little more inspection. I did, when I opened it up, had some pieces fall out here, right here. Well, it didn't fall out actually; they were hanging, but I went ahead and pulled them out. But this kind of gives you an idea. We do know we have one problem, and that be that resistor right there. Looks like it's probably a 5-watt resistor, or either that or a 3-watt resistor. She doesn't give up the ghost, and it looks like it was on the, from what I could tell, it was on the grid on the driver tube. So anyway, we're going to see if I can decipher that and figure out. It's got most of the colors here. Hopefully I can put it together and figure out what colors they were and what resistance that was. Probably like anywhere from a 10 ohm to 200 ohm. I'm guessing somewhere in there, just guessing. Probably 100 ohm. Seems like these things, like half the stuff in them is 100 ohm. But anyway, let me see if I can decipher that, and we'll come back and test the tubes. That's usually the first thing I do on these things. Is I'll go ahead and pull the tubes out and test those. I mean, it's kind of like, you know, a lot of these tubes are hard to find and expensive. I mean, that could be, if one of these tubes is bad and it's a $30 or $40 tube, I'm not going to move any further with it. But I'll go ahead and pull the tubes and get my tube tester out, and we'll do a little test on the tubes, and then I'll see if I can't find a resistor here, and we'll kind of go from there. Okay, got my tube tester out here. I'm my Arm Mercury tube tester. At one time, I don't know if I ever told y'all this story, but I hit a garage sale. It's been years. Actually, I didn't hit the garage sale. I had a buddy of mine that hit a garage sale local to me here, and he come by here after he was checking the garage sale. He says, "Man, inside there, that guy must have been an old TV repairman or something." But there's a whole bunch of old test equipment and a bunch of tubes and just a bunch of old stuff, you know, you might be interested in. So I hopped in the truck and ran over there, and sure enough, bless his soul, some old gentleman had passed away, and I guess he'd been in the old TV repair for years. And basically there was half a garage full of cases of old tubes, tube testers, you know, just anything you could think of for basically TV repair. And she had it all for sale, and she didn't, you know, she's kind of overwhelmed by it. But anyway, I walked around there and kind of assessed what I had there, and basically I gave her an offer for everything she had in the garage, and I bought it out. And I made my money back. Actually, the first Hamfest I went to, I took just all the tubes, and I was a little more naive at the time, and I must have had 5,000 tubes at the time, most of them brand new in box. And anyway, I went to Hamfest and put them out there, and they sold, you know, most of them, you know, not all of them, but any of the real rare ones. Looking back, there was a lot of those tubes I sold for $5 and $10 that were worth $30-$40 a piece. It is a Hamfest though, but you know, in the long run, I felt happy about it, because that first Hamfest, I got all the money I invested in buying that garage out just in sales of tubes, and I got to keep all the other equipment. So it was a good win all the way around, and she was tickled that I purchased it all instead of her trying to separate it or what else to do with it, you know. So it worked. It was a win for anybody. But anyway, sorry I'm getting into this long story here, but just kind of reminded me that whole story about, this is the only tube tester I kept. It basically, it doesn't look like a lot, but honestly, this thing will test about any tube that I've run into. And so let's go ahead and test these tubes. I've got the manual online. I've got it on PDF, and basically I've looked up the numbers of these tubes, and I've already scored down what sockets they go into and what settings. We'll start with the small tube first, which basically it says that it's a 68Q5 is what it is, and look up in the chart, that means it'll go into socket 12 here. So we'll plug it into socket 12 here. Find the open spot there. These old eyes of mine anymore, I tell you. Where's the open spot? There we go. Okay, it goes in no, socket 12 I mean. And setting it goes to let's see, 2. Let's see here. It goes to E. 2 E 1 A, and then you just hit press for quality here, and it'll, just like the old store ones you had in the Walmarts and Kmart's back in the day. You just pull it back and see if the 2 is, well, it does check as good. That's a good sign. About 70%. Let it warm up a little bit, see if it even gets better. Sometimes you let them warm up. Yeah, it is lighting up. Yeah, it looks like 72, 73%, just a little bit over 70%, but that's good news. It's a good tube. Not a brand new tube by any means, but it's it got up to almost 75 there, but we'll go with that. We know it's a good tube. So anyway, go ahead and pull that one out, and tube 1, and then I have this was a 6BQ5 is what this one was, if you were just curious. And it says it goes in socket 3 up here. It's actually really, on this tube tester, really you want to set your settings first before you plug your tube in. So you want to go 3 on this one. We want to go to, it stays on E, 3E, and it goes to 2, A again. Okay. We'll plug it in now. It said socket 1. I kind of wrote this down backwards, so it's confusing me. So it goes in socket 1. Okay, yep. 3. Double check. E, 2, A, socket 1. Okay. Let's see how she does. Hey, even a little bit better than the last one, and she's even drawing up more. Almost 80% there. Hopefully you're catching that. Yeah, she's right at 80%. That's a good tube. They're both good, but yeah, 80% is definitely acceptable. So is 75. So, okay, well that's good news. At least the tubes aren't smoked in it. That's a good sign. Yeah, definitely 80%. She's even crawling up a little bit more, but okay, there we go. So we've now tested the tubes, and we do know we're dealing with 2 good tubes. Go ahead and put this tube tester away, and let's get back to the amp. Well, looking around inside of this, other than that one burnt resistor here, it looks to be in pretty good shape. I don't know if you can see that though. It's old school stuff. I'll tell you that bridge rectifier, or your diode bank, however you want to call it, man, that's a hodgepodge. A bunch of 1-watt diodes, creating a full bridge. But wow, the way they're soldered in there, I don't know if you can see that. See if you can get that. This almost looks maybe homemade. I don't know. I don't know. Some of this older tube stuff like this, it might look homemade, but this very well may be. This is obviously all put together by hand. I don't see any puffed caps. I do see one possible, looks like a it's called cord doubler. I'm not sure exactly what a cord doubler is. It looks like maybe it's wax, but you got 2 big caps here and 1 cap down here. So it doesn't really even have a whole lot of capacitors in it. It's got some ceramic capacitors in here, but electrolytic wise, it looks like I only see like maybe 3. There's your keying relay right there. It's definitely your matching right there. That's low cool, so you can tune it. Power wattage diode there on the plate, looks like. Inspection wise, I'm not really seeing, it's not dirty either, which is really cool. Tell you what I'm going to do is I'm gonna see if I've got one of these resistors that I can put in there, and I'm gonna go ahead and, good thing is the fuse is not even blown. So this thing is not shorted out. I mean, it really doesn't look like it's had a whole lot of hands in it. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and just drop a resistor in it and put it on the variac and bring it up slow. And I mean, if you really wanted to restore this thing, quote, you'd really want to go in there and recap the whole thing. But like I said, I mean, this is not going to be a big driver. This is more of kind of a novelty thing. Or I guess if you had a stock radio and it does 30 or 40 watts, it'd be pretty cool to have a little heater. Give you several times your normal king. I really think this might have been going with a Golden Eagle, and this might have been the amplifier of the day, or like I said, a preamp. But anyway, let me go dig up, see if I can find a resistor, and we'll. I think I took a picture of that. I hope I can remember where that resistor went. Now, I just grabbed a soldering iron. I wanted to get it out to see what the resistance was on it, and at least it didn't break into a million pieces. It broke into 2 main pieces. It looks like from what I could tell, color-wise, it really looks like brown, black, brown. Which brown, black, brown would be 100. Yeah, that would be a 100 ohm resistor. Definitely brown, black. It's only a 3-ring resistor too. It doesn't even have a tolerance on it, so. For sure it's brown and black. I just can't tell that third digit which is a big deal, but because it could be 1,000 ohm, it could be 10 ohm. But anyway, let me see if I can sort that out and find one. And I think I got one, and we'll solder that back in there, and we'll kind of bring her up slow and see if any magic smoke comes out of it, and see what it does. Very carefully, by the way, very carefully. Let me go see if I can sort this out and make for sure. I doubt I'm going to find any schematic on this. I don't even know what the model is, much less anything else. So I'm going to get this underneath the magnifying glass, and hopefully I can catch that third ring and make sure it is 100 ohm. And we'll put a 100 ohm resistor back in there, and we'll just roll the dice from there. Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and I went and looked at that burnt resistor we had there that was burnt too, and sure enough, it was 100 ohm. So my guess was right on that. So I did have some 5 watt 100 ohms. So I'm going to go ahead and replace that one resistor in there. I kind of went through, vision inspected it, and kind of hit the ohm meter and kind of checked things out. And I can't see anything else that's obvious. It could very well still have a bad cap. There's a lot of other things that could be, but we're gonna go with the obvious first. And the most obvious thing was this burnt transistor here, or resistor. I mean, I don't know why I always want to say transistor when it's resistor. But we're going to go ahead and solder a new one of those in there. Kind of tried to bend it around the way they kind of had it. Obviously, we don't want it shorting out, so kind of bend that around. Something along that lines right there. Is that my solder joint? And we might go ahead and hit a little bit more. I want to make sure it's well soldered in there. And what I do, it fell out. Oh man. Me and my OCD, I just had to mess with it. I had it good, but I wasn't happy with it. Actually, that's worse than I had it. There we go. I don't know if that's better or worse than I had it the first time, but we're gonna quit there. Oh lordy. And then we dropped some solder down in there. I need to pick that up. You don't want any loose metal floating around in here. See that? No, you don't want that in there. You sure don't want that in there. Not a whole lot of room to work with here. I think we'll just try and tack it on top there. And I can bend it and pretty it up a little bit more. There we go. That looks pretty good. And I'll just clip off my little extra wire here. There we go. Bend her up a little bit. Over a little bit. Hopefully you're seeing that. And there we go. We got that new 100 ohm 5 watt resistor installed in there. So her connections look good. Okay. Okay, well, now that we've got that done, let's go ahead and looks like we're safe there. Quit worrying about that. It's a good solder joint. Nothing wrong with that. Stop. Well, I want to clip that off and clean it up. Okay, let's go ahead and flip her over. Put our tubes back in here. Ones we tested earlier, we know they're good. Not great, but they're good. It was about 75 and 80%. Why it's not feeling like it's sealing or good. There we go. That felt good. Okay, we got our tubes back in there. Now we're gonna hook this up to the variac. And very gingerly we're gonna bring this thing up. Let's see. I want to power it up on or off first. And I don't know what the second switch is. It's got two switches. I'm guessing one is the main and one's probably a standby. We'll start with them both off and bring it up and see if anything smokes right off the bat. It's about 30 volts, 40 volts, 50 volts, 60 volts, 70 volts. We'll go up to about 85 volts there. Are the filaments lighting? No, probably because it's completely turned off. But let me go ahead and go to 120 with it off just to make sure I don't have anything that... Okay, that's 120 volts. And no obvious cracking, popping, or smoking. So let me go ahead and back down to 0 here. And when I go ahead, I'm just going to go ahead and turn it full on. Not going to have any antenna input or anything in it. Slowly bring it up, and I want to see if these tubes are going to even light up. That's an important part of it. Take this real slow. Start with, I'm not sure where the filaments will start lighting, but probably 50 or 60 volts if they're going to light. What am I at right now? There's about 60, 70 volts right there. Let's see, am I getting any lightage in the filaments? I turn that light off so maybe I can see better. I do have a front light that has came on now, so it tells me it does have current coming into it. So far I'm not seeing any filament lighting. If it is, yeah, it is. Okay, they're both, yeah. You probably can't see it in the camera, but yep, the filaments are lighting. That's perfect. And that's at what, that is 90, there's 100 volts. So far no magic smoke. It's a good sign. Let's go ahead and bring her up to 120. Oh yeah, see, now you see how the tubes really light up. Hopefully you can see that. Tubes are lighting. Like I said, no magic smoke so far. Good sign. Real good sign. Maybe that's the only thing that's wrong with it. Wish I had a little more instruction. I'm guessing probably like any other tube amp as far as adjusting the load back here. Kind of an awkward place to put it on the back, but filaments are lighting. Good sign. Let me go ahead and just turn it off for a second here. And we're going to go ahead and hook my good little midland up to it and see if if we've got us a good little preamp here. It's got to be I call preamp a driver amp, maybe that's what they call it, because it's not really a preamp. It's, well, it would be in audio terms and not in RF terms. I don't think it'd be considered a quote preamp. It'd be considered a pre-driver, maybe. Let's see, I can't remember. Radio on the inside, okay. Guess I could have looked at the bottom too, but anyway. Go ahead and get this hooked up here. Guess I can turn that light back on now. Yeah, my sticker's in there tight. Okay. Notice I'm doing all this. I'm even being very careful about touching it, period. It has my respect, I promise you. Okay. Got the radio hooked up. Go ahead and turn the radio on. We'll go ahead and turn on the signal generator just so I have signal coming in. And let's go ahead and power her up. Give it a minute to warm up here. And see if we got any output. I'm curious if even the relays work. I mean, like I said, this is totally blind. We just opened the case, saw that cooked 100 ohm resistor, checked everything else visually, tested the tubes, and this is where we're at now. Let's see if we even hear a relay. Sure do hear a relay. That's a good sign. Almost sounds like I'm on sideband. Hello. Well, I'm getting, let me go to 10 watt scale. Normal drive there. When I turn that switch off, it completely turns it off. So I don't know which switch does what here. Let me, okay, go that direction. Hello, audio. Okay, that's just straight pass through. So the one on the right is power on, and then this makes it active. I don't like the way it's clipping. Interesting. Okay, well, solder works. It it's got a chatter and a relay. I wonder if those could actually be. Maybe they marked those backwards. It almost acts like it's hooked up backwards. Let me. Or maybe I don't have a good connection here. Let me. No, it's definitely. Let me power that off, just to be on the safe side. I mean, it almost really sounds like I'm backwards. I don't know how that would be, but just for sanity check. Let the tubes warm back up. I'll be dang. That's what it was. That was a good guess. I read the back of the case, and according to the case, or did I just put them in backwards? Well, that was a good guess. Golly. Yeah, antenna on the left and radio on the right. How did I do that? She works, guys. She works. See if I can tune her a little better. Seems like my plate's a little high there. Let me. Seems like I could use a little more tuning, but. About 25 watts there, guys. We're going to play with it a little bit more, and I'll switch it around here and kind of show you, but hey, it works. It definitely works. Cool. So the only thing wrong with it is that 5-watt resistor. Probably somebody sat there and keyed on it with it not tuned right, and that's what caused the whole problem in the first place. Not sure what I'm going to do with it. You know, it could probably, if you really wanted to restore to 100%, it probably needs to have the caps gone through and etc. But hey, she's working as she stands. And the tubes are, like I said, 75, 80%. So that's awesome. Let me bundle her up. I'm going to go ahead and package her up, put the covers back on it. I feel a little safer that way, and we'll have a little final look at this. I don't know what you call it. Mini Golden Eagle lamp. We'll call it that. Okay, guys, here we go. I got her all back together. You know, she's really kind of growing on me. I mean, it's got the cool looking meter. It's really kind of cool looking. I don't know. I don't know about the screw for the Eagle. I think I'd have rather double-sided taped it. But, hey, it kind of gives it, you know, nostalgia. Definitely a 70s thing. But, hey, man, it's working great. You know, that says a testament to this old equipment like this. I'm guessing they probably just burned out that resistor, probably out of tune. I've actually kind of got her tuned now, and she likes to key at a low wattage. I'm feeding 2 into it, and I've got her where she's keying about 6 or 7, and she'll swing 30. Well, I'll just show you on the meter. I've got her on standby now, but so let me go ahead and show you. Well, let me switch back over to 10-watt scale. So we'll go through the. There's your normal 10-watt scale with just stock radio. We'll take her out of standby now. Out of standby now. See what she does to that 10-watt meter. And then we'll go over to 100-watt scale, which again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, it makes it pretty easy, you know, the scale. Basically, the only thing with the scale is if you look at 30 watts is center. I don't know why it's kind of scaled like that, but if you look meter straight up and down, it's 30 watts. So, look here, she's keying right at, really about right at 5 watts, but swinging about 32. Hello, hello, hello. So she's at 30 to 35, so 2 in and 35 out. That's pretty cool. I mean, I've never seen one, and definitely some type of I really almost feel like this would go with one of them Golden Eagle Mark sets, you know, with the eagle and everything, and it would kind of make sense because I don't think those were real high output radios, and you know, this would give you, you know, could this be the amp that they'd go with to make you get out a little further? I don't know, maybe this, and then maybe there's a big eagle that sits next to it, but I picked this up a long time ago. I'm thinking it might have been a yard sale. I'm not sure exactly where I got this at, but been this long. It's been years. I probably had it for 10 years and never took the time to open it up and check it out and see what was going on with it. But anyway, it's a repaired unit, and you see it does about 32 watts with 2.5 watts in. I mean, that's not bad. It'd be cool to have on your desk. I mean, if you're running a stock, you know, stock mic or a stock radio, definitely a power increase by 5-fold anyway, at least, maybe 6-fold, or 6, maybe 7-fold. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little short video. Again, anytime you mess with these tube amplifiers, be very, very careful. As you can see, I've hooked it up to a Variac. As you notice, I was very careful. Unplug and turn off before I touch anything. You also want to discharge your caps. Just fair warning, if you want to mess around in these, be very careful, because I've got the scar on my thumb to prove that they bite, and they bite quick. Anyway, have a great day out there. This is Electron Man. Please like and subscribe.